Good afternoon and welcome to Grade 12 University Physics. My name is Mrs. Donner and I'm going to be your teacher this semester. This is my 13th year of teaching and my second year of teaching an online physics course. I just wanted to make a really quick video talking about the orientation of the learning management system that we're going to be using called D2L or Brightspace. If this is your first time using D2L, then you're actually going to learn a lot of really important skills for post-secondary training. A lot of universities and colleges are using learning management systems to deliver courses, so any experience that you gain from taking an online course is directly transferable to other courses in your future. So participating in an online course is learning not only the content, the physics content, which is the course, but also learning how to navigate through a course using a learning management system online. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of these very same features in future courses that you're going to be taking. So I'm at the home screen right now, and this is pretty much what you're going to see when you log in. Something very similar. You're not going to see this many folders. For some reason, all of my folders are coming up, but you're only going to see the folders that I roll out one at a time. And so all of the content that we're going to be going through can be found under the content browser. Every day I'm going to be posting a news item to the news section, which you can find right here, and you should read the most recent posting for the day's lesson. So every day I'll have something posted about what we're going to be doing that day or what our focus is going to be on. Now, as I alluded to in my first post, this week is going to be kind of slow. We are in the process of accommodating people who are moving in and out of the course. And when it comes to physics, it's never a good idea to race ahead when students haven't had a chance to catch up. So these first 2 or 3 days are going to seem kind of slow, but in the meantime you can use that time to familiarize yourself with the learning management system and learn how to use features like starting a discussion thread on the discussion board and learning how to submit a document via Dropbox. If I wanted to give you any advice, one of the biggest challenges in taking an online course is essentially establishing an online class feel and getting to know your classmates. That's one of the hardest things to do. There are some people who are taking this course who are in my building, and I would just encourage them, if they did have a question, to post it to the discussion board first so that everybody can get the benefit of seeing the question and that I can respond to it, or even other students could respond to it as well, and then that way the entire class gets to benefit from the questions that you ask. So all questions should be going through the discussion board, and when you click on discussions, you'll see a list. It'll just take me a second here. You should see a list of discussions. Now, not all of them are going to be visible at this point for you, but for each assignment there is going to be a list of discussions that you can go to. So activity 1 discussion, for example, working with vectors. When you have a question, the discussion board is the first place you should go to. You post a question there. Now, another student might answer your question before I do, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you happen to get into a discussion with your classmates and you can't come to an agreement, then just send me an email by clicking on the email link, and I'll be able to help you along. So if you notice, there's quite a few discussions in each of the units, and it's always a good idea to get involved in the discussions. When you have a question, that's the first place you really should be going. The content for each of the units can be found under the content browser. You're not going to be seeing all of these folders. I'm going to be rolling these folders out one at a time, and I'll just show you an example. In Unit 1, I don't just put all of the content out for Unit 1. I'll only put out content one at a time. So we're going to work through motion in a plane for a certain amount of time, and then I slowly expand it, because this content can be overwhelming if you just dump it on top of people all at once. It has to be worked through at a very slow and deliberate pace. For that reason, e-learning physics is a little bit different than, say, e-learning writer's craft. You know, writer's craft, you can get your assignment one week and then hand in your assignment the week after without having to do a whole lot of research or a lot of class interaction in between. Physics doesn't really work that way. It is strongly recommended that when you have your e-learning period, you should be logged in to your class for the entire 75 minutes, where you're accessing the content that isn't just reading, but it can consist of videos and interactive simulations. So you really shouldn't leave the content for 2 or 3 days a week, because you might feel overwhelmed, and if you have a question, you might fall behind on the discussion board in trying to catch up with some of the content that we're going through. So this is a course that you really do have to keep up on. I'm going to be able to, as the instructor, I'm just going to show you my home page, I'm able to track your progress through the course, and if I see that you aren't putting a lot of hours into it and you're struggling, I am going to contact your guidance counselor to discuss strategies with you to help you be more successful in the course. If I would say that this is a daily commitment, especially for physics, because it just takes a little bit longer to wrap your head around those concepts. And that's all I'm going to leave you with for today. Tomorrow we're going to go into laboratory safety, just some things that you need to be aware of if you're going to be conducting any labs or experiments or demonstrations at home. And I'm also going to talk to you about finding a good equation editor, because one of the other challenges with physics is finding an equation editor that you can use that you can submit your assignments on. And that's always a challenge, because physics is filled with equations, and we have to be able to find a tool to help you get those equations onto a page so you can submit it via Dropbox. Our calendar is located right here, and essentially I will be entering important dates in there. But I'll also be using the Remind service that you subscribed to earlier today. I'll be using Remind as well to remind you about upcoming tasks and deadlines. Like it was mentioned in the course orientation PowerPoint, losing an assignment on your computer is not sufficient to get an extension on any of your assignments. So you are well advised to back up your documents. Whether you back them up to a cloud or a USB device is your own personal choice, but you should be very, very diligent about making copies of your assignments when they are complete, in the event that downloading them from the cloud or uploading them from your computer turns out to be a problem. So that's just my word of advice for today. And that's just about it for now. Our first official day one lesson just involves reading over the syllabus, knowing where the PDF version of the textbook is, reading through the e-learning orientation slideshow, and then introducing yourself to the class and getting to know one another through the discussion board and postings. That will come over time, but it's always a good idea to maybe get in contact with people who you think that you could work well with this semester. That's all for today. Tomorrow is going to be lab safety, so I will see you then. I hope you had a great first day back, and I look forward to working with everybody. Happy Tuesday. Bye for now.